Hey, what's going on everyone? Devin Knupp here, back at you with a brand new video. And today we're going to talk about something that not too many people talk about when you're trying to run a business. And that is the matter of fact of how lonely it actually is. And so, first of all, you'll notice I got like a completely different camera angle. I actually flip the office all around. So the next few videos, I'm going to be kind of testing out different spots inside of the room to see what kind of camera angle works best for me. I kind of like where it's at right now because it's just like literally right next to the desk. So like I have my computer right here and everything. And it's super easy just to flip this on. So if you guys like this angle, awesome. The only problem is if I do videos in the afternoon, the sun blinds through this side because it's facing where the sun goes down and everything. So a little bit of pros and cons with it. But anyways, so one of the things that I think it took me a long time to, I didn't really notice it at first, but then at the same time, I started to kind of just notice the effects of when I started working for myself, was that it started to get super lonely feeling. I felt super alone. There's so many days where I just was bored out of my mind because all I had to do was either work or do nothing. Really all I had to do was work. And I've been doing this for almost a year now, where just about 5-6 days out of the week where it's just solely the main thing that I can do that day is work. And I have a reason for it, but there's so many times where I'm just damn, I just feel so lonely at the moment. I have nobody to talk to. It's just me, myself, and my computer, which that's not the actual truth. To be honest, I hang out with my girlfriend pretty often, and then there's a lot of people that I've been doing business with that I just talk over online, or we FaceTime all the time. I don't really hang out with friends too much. It's maybe once a month, once every other month kind of occurrence. It's pretty rare. Usually just working all the time, but it gets super lonely. And I think I've realized why it feels so lonely, even though you could be talking to a lot of people. Usually the physical human interaction is lacking just a little bit, at least when you're kind of in work mode, trying to build things up, trying to get some cash flow going and stuff like that. But what I've also noticed is you have more time than I think you ever really had in your life of you inside of your head and just you and your thoughts, just consistently. Most people, maybe 2, 3, 4 hours a week, they're just themselves, and they're not most people, they don't even pause for a minute and kind of just think about what's actually going on and actually process a lot of things that's happening in their lives. They're when they're even by themselves, they watch TV, or they do they play video games, or they do something on their own where they just have their mind interacting with something, and they never really just have this time to themselves. And usually when I'm working in here a lot, it's just dead silent. I usually don't like to listen to music. Sometimes I play some low-key kind of chill vibe beats, just so that way there's some sort of noise in the room. But I really can't focus if there's a podcast or music playing with vocals in it, just because it's just distracting, especially when I'm trying to read a bunch of stuff. So usually a lot of times it's just dead silent in here. It's either I'm focusing on working things, or it's just me and my thoughts. And I don't think anybody, majority of people, it's very rare for people to deliberately kind of put themselves into this situation. It's usually kind of along the lines of meditation in a sense. But if you're not used to it, you're kind of just thrown into this situation. Over time, you kind of start to notice the effect. Because even when I was in high school or college, I started to, I always had somebody to talk to. Even if I was just me, myself in my dorm room, there was always people around me. And it wasn't I wouldn't go a week without seeing someone. I would see someone literally every single day of my life. When I'm here working out in my apartment, the only time I see people is when I go out and do some exercise. Usually I go for a walk, or take the dog out for a walk, or just kind of get some fresh air. But the only time I ever interact with people, and it's not even kind of a talking situation, it's not really any actual interaction, it's just seeing someone. That's really all I get during the day, and it's kind of very lonely, in the kind of more of a physical sense. And so, where am I going with all this? I'm kind of rambling a little bit, But the thing is, what I really wanted to talk about inside of here, if you're trying to become successful, if you're trying to run a business or try to go out there and make something for yourself, there's going to be a large block of your life that there's probably going to be imbalance. Probably not a large block, but to a lot of people, it's considered a large block. And I totally think this is okay, but for a long time, like it's been for me for like maybe like a year and a half of just pure imbalance. I would say probably about a year now, where it's just been like straight up work mode. And I'm finally almost getting to the point where I'm like out of this block to where I can start balancing out my life in other areas, because I really needed to kind of set up myself financially so that way I can do more things with my life and not have to work like every single day the rest of my life. So I've kind of had this imbalance for a long time. And with that imbalance, you're going to have to get used to being awfully lonely all by yourself. And I think that's a good thing, because then you learn a lot more about yourself than any other average person. I think that's what kind of stretches, like why the success comes from people, is because they're like actually reevaluating and just seeing all these different perspectives, kind of like a bird's eye view on their own life, and kind of really in full control of what's going on with their life, instead of having all of these external forces being a big distraction for you. Like for example, like social media, TV, news, the employees that you hang out with, the people that are around you, all of that is always influencing you. But once you start to kind of get out on your own and you start to hang out with people that are into business and actually successful people, you'll start to notice that there's like a completely different type of persona of these people, or just like watching all of these different people online than everybody else that you normally hang around. It's pretty rare to find people that kind of have like the mindset like I do. Although like every successful person usually in like some sort of way has some of the different principles that I'm implementing in my life in their own life. And so I know this was like kind of a hard conversation. Where I'm basically getting with this is just you need to be very used to getting alone and being just by yourself. It doesn't have to be lonely. It doesn't have to be just you working on things. You can work with a business partner. You can do things with other people. I'm just saying you're going to be kind of looking from the outside in a lot more than normal. And you're going to have to get used to that. And I think if you can push through that and just kind of like, that's probably like the biggest caveat, because when you're like working a 9 to 5 and that's all you ever do, is you're always surrounded by people. Like for majority of 9 to 5 jobs that people work, you always have like coworkers that you're talking to, different clients, customers, you have different people that you're working with all day. Whereas when you're doing a business, it's just you, yourself, and you, where it's normally like me, myself, and I is the saying, but I didn't know how to say that for you. But anyways, so hopefully you guys can kind of all understand that. And what I'm saying is you just need to kind of break through and get used to it, and just understand that this is going to happen. It gets like extremely lonely and almost like borderline depressing. I wouldn't say it's like I'm like completely just like, oh, I'm not going to do anything with my day. I just feel so down and my life sucks and everything like that. It's not that. It's just like your emotions kind of, you notice your emotions a lot more than normal. You kind of you feel your highs. You have really high highs, and then your lows just they seem more consistent. And you're just gonna have to be used to that. And if you can push through that, then I think anybody that can go through all these kind of offsets, I think you'll be very successful. So I know I had a wonky way of explaining all this, but hopefully you guys all enjoyed it. Also, let me know down below in the comments what you guys think about this camera angle. Maybe we need a little bit less lighting or more lighting. I don't know. Let me know if you guys got any advice or anything like that. But if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure that you join the fam, join the gang by hitting the subscribe button down below and smash that like button. So hopefully you guys all enjoyed this video. And like always, I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace.